970 WFLA presents Webb's World. Calling it like he sees it, here's Ted Webb.
The union workers at the Big Three average $73 per hour in wages. That's not a bad day's work if you can get it. You wonder why the Big Three can't compete with the other automakers? The union. The United Auto Workers Union. The union says it will not budge in an effort to get their cooperation on lowering costs so that the companies can survive. They'd rather sink the companies. The Big Three are not likely to get bailout money, especially since they will be in a begging position again soon. Overhead will not drop without union support of a reorganization plan. You know, at one time, unions were desperately needed in America. But now comes the time when we have to look at the unions as an albatross. That's how I see it.
It is a problem, and the unions don't seem willing to cooperate in this thing. I mean, they're very intransigent about it and saying, we're not going to do anything. We've already done all we can possibly do.
CEOs really offered to cut their own salaries to $1.
Yeah.
For, what was it, for Chrysler and GM?
Yeah. And that's the right thing to do. I mean, they're fully compensated enough in the past.
Yeah, but I mean, it shows good faith to say, look, I'll take my salary and just not even collect it.
Yeah, it does, and especially if you could get them to donate their stock options and a lot of other things as well. I've got a couple of real good pieces on my webpage that address this issue. One that is pro-bailout from Patrick Buchanan. He says you've got to have the bailout. It's got to happen. The other from George Will saying the bailout is crazy. The thing you've got to do is let them go bankrupt. File Chapter 11. That way they can reorganize, they can shrink a little bit, but they can survive and they can become viable as a business. The bailout will not allow that. The bailout changes nothing. It means it continues as a failure in business.
And you're setting them up to come back at you again for more bailouts because they're not going to survive having that kind of a load.
Yeah, they can't compete. That's a major, major problem. But anyway, but those are worth the read. I tend to agree with a lot of economists who say let them declare bankruptcy, do Chapter 11.
And that'll void the union contract, right?
Well, they would have to renegotiate. They would have to go back with everybody that they deal with from a financial standpoint and come up with some solutions that would allow them to somehow make more money to be able to survive financially. And you wouldn't put the onus on the taxpayers on the bailout, because once you do that, you open the sluice gates. The other two auto industry companies are going to definitely say, all right, we're next. You've done it for GM, you got to do it for Chrysler, got to do it for Ford. And once that's done, then you've got all of the people to supply them say, wait, we're the steel industry. We supply them with this stuff. We're hurting really bad. Hey, we're the Goodyear. You let Goodyear go and you got no tires. And then it goes on down, and it's trickle-down kind of thing. And then you go beyond the auto industry. Well, wait a minute. What about us, the widget industry? You can't have a democracy without widgets. You've got to bail us out, too. And you've already got Atlanta and Phoenix and Detroit, and who's the other one? Another city out there. New York's getting ready to. California's getting ready to. One of the federal government saying, hey, we need the money. It's our money. We're citizens. My God, why don't you bail us out? So it's a never-ending...
It's a mess.
Yeah, I'd hate to have to deal with it. And apparently Henry Paulson's getting a little heat for the way he's dealing with the current financial bailout. Yeah. And that's another discussion, but to have one man who used to be
part of the problem,
a fox trying to get in the hen house, he is now in charge of doling out money to the foxes to protect the hen house. Something ain't right about that scenario.